Hi, my name is John. Welcome to a video all about upgrading a 2x2 Xtreme plasma table. I've had this table for a couple of years now. It was originally marketed by Artec and now Xtreme Engineering are marketing them themselves. The 2-foot square table has been great, but the extra capacity of the 2x4 will make a massive difference to the sort of work I do and I intend doing. This is one of the first tables that Xtreme built. Even the latest tables still use the same drawings for the legs, all the bracketry, it's all exactly the same. Which means you can supply parts off the shelf. That's the extra runners with the racks on, and you'll basically bolt straight onto my machine without any drilling or modification. The whole machine is held together with 6, 10 and 8mm bolts. There's nothing that needs unsoldering. All the wires are all colour coded, they're all plugged together. I'm going to take the motors off and then hopefully the whole assembly should slide off the racks, and it's a straightforward case of building the table up, squaring it up, reassembling and then setting up. The actual motors are mounted on simple ball races with little eccentric cams to adjust it. The idea is so simple, it's amazing how well it works. When they're set up, there's very little, if any, flex in it. I'm sure you'll see as I get into it, the quality, the way it's built. It really impresses me the way he's gone to the detail. I would like to think if somebody said to me, John, can you build me a plasma table? I would build a one just like this. Anyway, I'll start pulling bits off and we'll see about modifying it or upgrading it. As you can see, the wire and plugs are all colour coded. This one's coded blue. Simply unplug like that, nice, secure, solid fastening. The stepper motor is held over 4 bolts. The holes are slotted to allow the pinion to be set to the correct mesh into the rack. I'll show you how to do that when we come to put it all back together. Right, that's the stepper motor removed. That's a little pinion there. Remember Rob saying he did put double grub screws in because he had problems with them, the early ones slipping. That's one of the 2 adjusters. There's a little cam on there which pushes all the bearings together. You loosen them off and that will allow this to slide off the end of the rack. Obviously you want to take it off from the table. With the adjuster slacking off, you can see how free it is to move. Really simple but very effective. All the wiring remains attached to that rail. The wires are the same length no matter what size table he builds, 2 foot, 4 foot or 8 foot. It's all standardised, so if you have a problem with a wire can be supplied off the shelf. Now we've just got the bolts holding these side rails on, and this will slide off, and then it's a case of extending the table and putting it all back together. I'll give it a good clean up. Obviously it has a lot of plasma's dirty stuff, has a lot of horrible plasma dust everywhere. These little brackets come with the kit, all are full. The bolt under there, and they just hold that up when you take the bolts out, or they hold that up when you put the bolts in. It's just little things like that. That's a simple little idea, but it makes life so much easier. You see all the rails just rest on those little brackets, which means I can lift this up and then slide the whole carriage off. I've got the 2 little support brackets on this end, and I've loosened one bolt off and removed one bolt from the other end, so now these runners can lift up and down. It'll be easier with 2 people, but I'm sure I'll manage just to lift this up and slide it off. There will be 2 people here when it goes back together. And so we'll lift it up, it should slide off like that, and the runners simply drop in. So that whole assembly comes off complete. The whole frame is bolted together with 10mm cap heads. All straightforward, simple stuff. These are the two wheels I'm going to replace for longer ones. The other two obviously stay the same. The bolts are a really tight fit in the holes. There's no slugger in them, so the whole table is going to be bolted up nice and square. It certainly comes to bits easy enough. All this metalwork is plastic coated, it's not just spray painted, so it does clean up quite easily. The dirt off the plasma just basically wipes off. A nice clean fresh start. I mean, you can't help little bits with getting burned, but this has had 2 years use. It's done quite a lot of work and it is cleaning up quite nicely. This table, it's only took for longer, but it looks absolutely massive compared to the other one. As you can see, that the legs are bolted straight on. There's no, the whole tolerances are spot on. It just goes together. So these obviously are laser CNC cut by Xtreme engineering to the same drawings as the first ones were made, and it just go together. What more can you say about it? And pull all the bolts in all 4 corners before you tighten any. The floor here is good, it's very level, so you can basically tighten it up as it stands and it should be nice and square. Once it's all assembled, you do a test cut. You cut a test square, and that shows if it's out of truth or not. You wouldn't think I use nuts and bolts for a living all day, and I've got battery windy guns and all kinds of work. Anyway, can't do it by hand. It just takes a little bit longer. That's all. And that's them all nipped up. I'll get a power bar and a 17mm socket and tighten them properly. But that now is really rigid, incredibly rigid in fact. This water tray is held up by 2 long pieces of angle underneath, which give even more strength to the structure. The water tray is certainly worth having. It does stop a lot of the fumes and a lot of the mess. Also, that's what I use it for. I used to set the table up. When you have water in there, you can use it as a spirit level to get the table nice and square. If it was good enough for the Egyptians building pyramids, it's good enough for me. Look at these, with 2 people.
Yeah.
Right then. If we slip those up. Right, should continue now. Check it out here. Right. So. Starting out, we'll take it up.
Is it?
Right, I'll come across the other one. Before we start with just anything, these 4 bolts were loosened off, which means that the brackets can move around and line themselves up. And what Lee's doing here, that's two bearings with adjuster cams on. He's setting the cams up to put prelude on the bearings just to take any free play out of it. It really is a simple idea that works very well. There's only two of them adjustable. That's the one Lee's doing there. That actually pulls the carriage down onto the top of the rail, and there's a one on the other side that pulls the carriage out so all the bearings are nice firm contact. Right, so it's still moving nice and free, but there is resistance on it. Certainly no tight spots. Right, next thing to do is pull it up to this end, up against the stops, and then tighten up the four Allen bolts, these four here. Right. Nice, isn't it? That's nice and smooth, isn't it?
Spot on that. What's it bent in? That's even one finger there.
This is probably one of the most fiddly jobs of the whole operation, is getting these little nuts starting at the bottom of these stepper motors, which Lee's actually managed to do quite painlessly.
With the help of these.
With the help of these. This is actually the Y-axis stepper motor. We're going to show how to set this up because it's easier to get the camera into this one than it is on the X-axis. It's basically a little bit like setting up change wheels on a lathe. You need a little bit of free play in the gear. If Lee moves the motor, it moves it back and forward, you'll hear it.
That's not on there.
That sounds nice, and if it's too tight, you can hear it grating. So you've got to get a happy compromise. In the old days when I used to smoke, a cigarette paper was a thou thick, and you could put a cigarette paper between the gear and the rack. I think what we're going to do with this, because Lee's set his up quite a few times, he's just going to do it by feel. And these stepper motors are revolving here, but once they're powered up, they actually lock solid.
We'll tighten just one up, and then chip the wheel.
You feel for clearance in the gear there.
There's no
backlash in it.
And by the time the motor comes on.
Yeah. It sounds nice and smooth when you push it back and forward, so it's not too tight. If it's too tight, it tends to trace the pattern of the rack and the cut when you're cutting, so you need to play around to get it just right. But everything's adjustable. That sounds good.